Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ITSnippets. Today I'm going to show you how I edit one of my videos from within DaVinci Resolve. So let's get started. The first thing we have to do is open DaVinci Resolve. And we'll create a new project just by double clicking on that. Okay, the first thing we'll need to do is save it. So we do Control and S and we'll give it a name. So ITSnippets, and I'm doing a multi-boot USB. So multi-boot, I can spell it correctly. And the application is called Ventoy. Okay, so now that that's in, we should go to Media. And we should import our videos. So in my case, they're in a folder called 4K under videos. You can see it's a two-part video, so they're both here. I'm going to click on them and just drag them in. It's asking me if I want to change to a different frame rate of the project. So I'm going to say don't change, and then I'm going to get out this little cog down the bottom corner, and I'm going to change this so that it is 4K, because all my new videos for my tutorials will be in 4K. The only thing that will not be in 4K at this particular point in time is my unboxings. So I also have an intro. So I've been working on a new intro which is in 4K, so I will bring that in as well. And I have an outro. Now these appear in all of my videos, so let me just go to the folder where that is included. And as you can see, I'm just finding the files that I want and I'm just dragging them in. Okay, so now that we've done that, we jump over to the Edit tab and we'll bring up our media pool by clicking here. And we'll select the first part of our tutorial and place it in. And then we'll move over to the end and we'll bring in the second part of our tutorial. If I select the right one and place that there. Okay. So things to remember that might be different from my video to yours, if I just close these down just now, is that I have 6 audio sources set up. Now the only 2 that are in use at the moment are number 1 and number 6, so I'm going to delete the remaining ones by right clicking on the audio itself, the tab just at the side of it here, and selecting delete. So I'll need to do this for the 4 tracks I don't use, or rather I'm not using for this particular video. And there we go. Okay, so now that we've done that, we should test that the video plays back correctly. I am recording this, and these are 4K videos. My system can be a bit pernickety with 4K videos at the best of times, so there may be a delay. That's just normal for me working with my systems. I was using proxy media for a time, however the proxy media just took up far too much space, so I've just kind of learned to edit in 4K. So let's try and get a quick edit out of the way first of all. So we'll just press space to continue playing. Okay, so that's dead space. Let's trim that by doing Control B. Welcome to ITSnippets. That's more dead space, so use Control B to blade it. Today I'm going to show you how to create a multi-boot USB using an application called Ventoy. So the first thing we actually have to do, okay, so I normally say, so let's get started, and that's where I put my video, my intro in. I've not said that in this case, but my intro would normally go around here. So I've selected and placed the bar where I want it to go. I'm going to open up my video. I'm going to open up my media pool. I'm going to click on my intro, and I'm going to press this button here, and I'll insert it. And there's no audio for my intro, so I always nuke it anyway by dragging that down. Again, we can now close the media pool. These 2 pieces of dead space I can click on and press delete to take out. And that's some dead space, and I'll probably do it for like areas like this. I don't like dead space in my videos, but it's a nice quick way to edit it out. If you want to set yourself a challenge, you can always look at the length of the video, which is 21 minutes in this case. And you can see how quickly you can actually narrow that down. So let's get back to the edit. So the first thing we actually have to do is obviously download the application, which is, as I say, it's called Ventoy. You get that by going to www.ventoy.net/en/index.html, clicking on downloads. In my case, I'm downloading it for Windows, but you can see it's available for Linux. Okay, so there's a slight little space there, so let's go back in/index.html, clicking on downloads. Right, so there's no need for such a long space there. So I'll just use Control B to blade it by selecting where I want to blade and take it out, and then we'll go back. In my case, I'm downloading it for Windows, but you can see again, that's dead space I'm just taking out. You've seen the issue with it trying to play the 4K there, so we'll go back and double check that. In my case, I'm downloading it for Windows, but you can see it's available for Linux and as a live CD. Click on here and then scroll down and click on Ventoy for Windows. Now I've already downloaded this myself. Okay, right, so I repeated myself there, so I must have made a mistake. So let's take this part out and we'll see what I made. Ventoy for Windows. Now I've already downloaded this myself. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a more difficult edit because in this part I only repeat. I've already downloaded this myself. Ventoy for Windows. Now I've already downloaded this myself. Okay, so I didn't actually have to redo that. I'm not quite sure why I redid that. So I'm actually going to take the second one and delete it off. So I'm going to remove the white space here. Oh, there's some more white space. So let's see if I recorrected it again. So once you've done so, no, I didn't. So this is just entirely a huge chunk of white space. So once you've done so, find it in your download folder, right click, extract all, and just give it a folder name. I'm just extracting it to the default, and there we go. As you can see, created a folder called Ventoy. If we go in here, okay, so there's a lot of white space here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on the blade icon here in the taskbar, and I'm just going to roughly make some cuts in here. Okay, we'll go back to my pointer tool and I will delete those hidden messages, or useless parts effectively. Let's go back here and play again. As you can see, it created a folder called Ventoy. If we go in here, you should have Ventoy to disk. Double click on that. Say yes when user account control kicks in. It has detected the 16. So I made a mistake there because I'm trying to play back it in real time, or I'm trying to make these cuts in real time, and I can't make the cuts in real time because of a little bit of a stutter due to the 4K video. So let's try that again. As you can see, my second track is the computer audio. That's user account control kicking in there. Double click on that. Say yes when user account control kicks in. It has detected the 16 gig USB I have connected, and it literally. It's not wise to try this live unless your PC can really keep up with it. So again, I'm just trying out the white space. Some people don't mind white space, it irritates me, so I try and blade up. So I try and blade out as much as I possibly can. Obviously, the shorter your video, the less time it takes to upload, the less time it takes to upload, the less space it takes on disk. There's plenty of reasons for doing this. And if you're full of when you're recording a video, it doesn't fill people with confidence. It literally just is ready to install. Let's look at options. We have secure boot support, partition styles. We can configure the partitions, we can clear a Ventoy, we can show devices, and we can generate a VTSI file. Not sure what that last one does. And languages is as expected. Okay, so there was another mistake. So let me cut out that mistake. Go back and make sure it matches. Not sure what that last one does. And languages is as expected. let's just click install. I'll just again pull out more white space. My first quick edit is always the white space. Always the white space. And it will be deleted, are you sure? So yep. Yep, double checking that it's sure. Okay, so there's a little bit extra white space in there, I'll just take out. Yep, double check. Yep, double checking that it's sure. Click yes. Okay. More white space. Now, I'll close this. I have a drive called Ventoy, which as you can see is empty. Now the benefits of Ventoy over anything else is it literally means that I can go in here and I can just pick up some ISOs. At this point I'm just blading the white space still. Like so. Okay, so that was interesting. That white space is not necessarily white space because I am selecting multiple things. Like so. Right, I'll take the hyperregion and copy them onto the drive. If there's enough space, there should be. And we'll just wait for that to finish. Okay, so again, this is why you double check your video. This entire section here, which as you can see is quite a long section, in fact I'll need to zoom out even further. Oh, that's still there. Right up until there is me taking the time to copy, or rather the system taking time to copy the file. So I'm just going to do Control S, which will save that file. I'm going to right click on my video and I'm going to do retime controls, and then from the little drop down here that says 100%, I'm going to change that to 800%. Okay, so I'll now click here and delete to bring in that large area. But if you look at this, it starts at 2 minutes and 8 seconds and finishes at 3 minutes and 12 seconds. So that's over a minute of nothing happening. So you should always nuke the audio for these by just clicking on here and dragging it down on the audio file. And I'm going to just click on the side here and drag it in and then delete, and that will bring that down in size as well. If you want to know how fast it is, you can do it. It's now, instead of 800%, it's 4016%. So press space. Okay, so that was successful, and I've now ejected the USB. Let's plug into another machine and try it. Okay. Okay, so I've switched to the second camera at this point. It's obviously just pointing at a laptop. The laptop lives under a table, so I always put in a disclaimer about that's why it's dusty, because it's just left there and does its job and I don't need to worry too much about it. So I'm going to click on the effects library. I'm going to grab a text effect. I'm going to drag it in and above here. That didn't work. Let's try that again. Okay, so that's not working. So what I can do for some reason is I can right click on here above my video track 1 and do add track. And then I can scroll up a little bit and now I can just drag this directly into a second track. And there we go, that works. Okay, so I can close my effects library. I can click on the effect I just added and go up to my inspector, and this is where I make my changes. So I'll just put this up. That's why it's so dusty. So just a little explanation. I will then make it red by clicking on color and selecting the color I want. And I also use Comic Sans as the font for all my stuff channel related. So there we go. So just leave that as a little disclaimer in the video, and I can click on it and drag it down to the bottom. Not quite that far. There we go. And reposition it. So that's just a little, yeah, I know the laptop's dusty. It's because it lives under a table. Okay, so I've plugged in the USB to the laptop. I'm going to power it on. I'm going to hit F11 to get into my boot menu. There's my boot menu. The bottom one is the drive, the OCZ Rally. Let's select that. And there we go. There is Ventoy. So let's say I wanted to install Hyper-V. So let's move down and select Hyper-V, hit return. And there we go. It's starting to install Hyper-V. Okay, so I left this to install Hyper-V to show that it actually worked. So I'll just speed up this section. No. Okay, it looks like I did not do any additional commentary on this. So that's fine. I just need to go to the end part. Okay, there we go. That is now installed Hyper-V. Okay, so that's nice and easy. So I just blade in here with a Control B again. Do Control S to save. Right click on my video and go to retime controls and change the retime controls to 800%. And delete the part in the middle. Obviously, again, as I said earlier on, nuke the audio. 800% still makes that way too long, so 4,500%, just again by clicking on the little tag above. Okay, and then delete that. Then I can zoom in here because there's some extra space before and at the end of this that I don't require. Okay, and then I shall grab my outro from the media pool, place it on the end. And for basic edit, that's it. Okay, so now that our edit's actually finished, we shall export the video. We do that by clicking on the Deliver tab. We go up here, I'm exporting to YouTube, so I click on that, but I also want to export in 4K, so that's 2160p. Okay, I want to browse to where my video files usually are. So these are stored on a NAS drive. So you just select where you want to export it to, and then you give it a name, which this one is FB multi-boot Ventoy. Hit return. Okay, down at my settings, I normally leave these as default with the exceptions of type. I changed to NVIDIA so that it uses my CUDA cores. And then I click add to the render queue, and then I render the video. Okay, and that's been exported. Now, just because it's exported doesn't mean you're finished. So Control S to save that and resolve, but you always want to check that the exported video looks correct. So in order to do that, you would locate where the file actually is. Let me just drag that into the correct monitor. And then you'd simply double click on it. It should open in VLC. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ITSnippets. Today I'm going to show you how to create a multi-boot USB using an application called Ventoy. Using square brackets, I'm going to speed this up. I'm now at 2 speed, so the first thing we actually have to do is obviously download the application, which is, as I say, called Ventoy. You get that by going to www.ventoy.net/en/index.html. Clicking on downloads. In my case, I'm downloading it for Windows, but you can see it's available for Linux as a live CD. Click on here and then scroll down and click on Ventoy for Windows. Now, I've already downloaded this myself, so once you've done so, find it in your downloads folder, click extract all, and just pick a folder name. I'm just extracting to default, and there we go. As you can see, create a folder called Ventoy. If you go on here, you should have Ventoy to disk. We'll click on that. Say yes when user account control kicks in. It has detected the 16 gig USB I have connected, and Hitler Resistant is ready to install. Let's look at options. We have secure boot support, partition styles. You can configure the partitions, can clear inventory, you can show devices, and can generate VTS file. I'm sure that last one does. Languages as expected. So let's just click install. Obviously, we deleted it, sure. So yeah. Yep, double checking that it's sure. Click yes. Okay. So now, I'll close this. We should now have a drive called Ventoy, which as you can see is empty. Now, the benefits of Ventoy over anything else is it literally means that I can go in here and I can just pick up some ISOs, like so. I'll do Hyper-V tune and copy them onto the drive. If there's enough space, there should be. And just wait for that to finish. Here you can see the benefits of me actually speeding this up in post. Okay, so that was successful, and I've now ejected the USB. Let's plug into the machine and try it. Okay, so I've plugged in the USB to the laptop, put the power on. I'm going to hit F11 to get into my boot menu. There's my boot menu. The bottom one is the drive, the OCZ Rally, so let's select that. And there we go, there is Ventoy. So let's say I wanted to install Hyper-V, so let's move down and select Hyper-V, out done. And there we go, it's starting to install Hyper-V. Okay, there we go, that's now installed Hyper-V up until the setup stage. If you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike this video, give it a dislike too. If you get feedback on this or any other videos or suggestions for videos you believe we should do in the future, then please let us know in the comments below. And most of all, thank you for watching. Okay, so I saw no issues with that. I have, however, created videos that had issues when exporting. I've created videos where I've missed something in the editing process. This is something you need to be aware of. And the better, the more you do this, the better you get at it. The better you get at it, the less likely you have to do post-export edits. If you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike this video, give it a dislike too. If you get feedback on this or any other videos or suggestions for videos you believe we should do in the future, then please let us know in the comments below. And most of all, thank you for watching.